Oh dear, everybody. And I'm not talking about the fact that I've just got out the shower with this trim. Last night, Leeds United, goodness me, lost to Millwall, and it wasn't a great. It's not been a great time for me in this little block when it comes to Leeds United. But I am heading out to Tampa Bay, everybody, today. Can't wait to see loads of people out there. We're going over there for Leeds United reasons, of course. And then we're splitting off to Miami as well. It's going to be a long period for me. However, it's going to be really, really enjoyable, I'm sure. So listen, yeah, get your thoughts in the section below. I read all the comments, and I'll be reading all the comments whilst I'm out there as well. This is your three things for today, everybody. It's not going to be as heavily edited as it normally is, but we're going to be getting it out there anyway because there's no excuses, of course. And I want to get look. Let me know your three things. I know you guys do it all the time, which is fantastic, and the interaction and engagement is brilliant. If you haven't checked out, we put a little bonus bit out last night after the instant match reaction. Me and my old man chatting as well. His thoughts were out there, so make sure you check out that as well. Everybody, loads of bits going out. So yeah, last night not good at all. What have we learned, or is it just the same as what we've seen before? So number one, it's really, really tedious and really, really boring, but it sort of is the Joel Peru argument. I think we said last night styles make fights in boxing, and I think matches in football create certain problems for certain individuals. I think, for example, Sam Byram in certain matches looks good as opposed to in other matches, maybe when he's getting pressed on his first touch. Alai Gruev maybe looks a little bit better when oppositions also aren't pressing on his first touch. Joe Rothwell maybe looks a little bit better when it's not such a compact midfield. There are many other examples. Joel Peru in that game last night for me, and we mentioned this before the game even started, I thought was going to struggle a little bit. And the reason behind that is because I thought he was just going to be really on the centre-back's toes. I didn't think he was going to be doing what Joel Peru has never really done in his career, which is running on the channels. It's dropping deep consistently. It's that sharp turn around the centre back of which is going to cause Jake Cooper to be doing that consistently. That's the issue. And I understand there's the goal comment, everyone. I completely get that. But football is a system-based game nowadays. It's very different. It's not based on that individual consistently as it maybe once was. And I feel that Joel Peru doesn't give as much to the team systematically as Matteo Joseph did. And look, if you want to flutter between them, which we're probably going to do this season, I feel in games like last night, where it's a bit of a war of attrition, I feel something like Matteo Joseph up front would have definitely been a little bit better for Leeds United. I don't need to tell you how a striker should move, but in a game like that, I felt like Matteo Joseph playing would have created a lot more space for the likes of Brendan Aronson and William Yonto. So I think we've got to learn that Matteo Joseph needs to be more involved than he is right now in terms of just 11 to 13 to 15 minutes or 9-minute substitute appearances. And we can't all just come on every single time and go, yeah, but Peru's got more goals than him, because football's more than just goals. We all know that. And I think that's something. The second thing is games like these, really. Millwall obviously deployed that low block. We've seen Burnley deploy a bit of a low block. I guess you could say Bristol City. And I think there's still issues with Leeds and that low block. And I think it feels like Leeds just sort of go into this same format, which we've all been speaking about for a while now, where, at home we seem to be okay. And, you can take the Burnley game out there. Obviously, we've had 3 draws and a loss away from home in our last 4. But I think you're seeing sort of a continuum over 2 years, maybe with Daniel Farke's Leeds side, where if it's like an efficient low block, and if they're good on transition, or if they're half decent on transition, and they take advantage when it comes to these set pieces, Leeds really struggle. And I think it all comes down to marginal gains, really. I think we've got to start doing more from set pieces, and we've got to start doing more when it comes to increasing that tempo. And we've got to start doing more in terms of overall starting games quicker. There's 3 or 4 different aspects of which Leeds, I think, need to change to really break down a low block. And I think last night, the big problem was we started playing into Millwall's hands. And Millwall, when you're playing into the hands, when the referee's as bad as he is, and you're not picking up on basic things, like if you're not picking up on the first ball, you've got to pick up on the second ball, which is obviously what led to the goal. Leeds have got a bit of a problem there. And they've got problem scenario, and that is exactly what we faced last night. And I think that was my big annoyance with it, really, because a lot of people were saying Leeds just weren't up for it. There was no effort there. I don't know if I agree with that, I just feel when you're doing the same tedious things again and again and again and again, it allows the opposition, when you slow in build up, to be able to regain their shape or to be able to move their shape left and right really easily. You know, Leeds move to the left, they move as a unit. Leeds move to the right, they move as a unit. It's not difficult. It's not difficult to do. And unless you're creating, unless you're in the pockets, you know, unless you're having sharp, short movements and dynamic football. There was one moment in the second half where Leeds played about 4 one-touch passes and we were behind them immediately. We are behind them immediately. But we just weren't doing that enough. And I think that rolls me into my third point, of which another thing I've started to learn from Leeds in games like those is that we're way more bothered about retaining possession and waiting for that long game in terms of finding a gap after just passing the ball 750 times, instead of just taking that risk, taking a man on, making that incisive pass, of which is quite risky. Pablo Hernandez-esque, making that quite risky pass. You are willing to lose possession, of which the opposition team, whether or not it's 0-0 or 1-0 to them, are going to take their time with the goal kick, or they might go down. But you're willing to take the risk because the risk is worth the reward. And I'm figuring out in maybe some of these games that Leeds United, and it sort of folds back into point two, of which, you know, we're quite lethargic and we're quite pedestrian. My old man said it's a perfect word for it. Pedestrian in build up, that allows the opposition to really easily funnel us exactly where they want to funnel us. They were funneling us out wide yesterday because they want us to put the ball in. Why? Because you've got Jake Cooper up against Joel Peru, and we're not really varying our play. It's play the ball out wide, play the ball in, a lofted ball in, not even a whip ball in. The one whip ball we put in, Joel Peru, to be fair to him, put it in the back of the net. And, you know, it was a little bit more, it had a little bit more pace on it. But I didn't think we really got the underlaps and the overlaps from the fullbacks. I didn't think you saw Firpo and Bogle hitting the byline at all. And I just thought Leeds were taking less risks. I thought we looked a little bit, we dominated possession, but, you know, great. But Daniel Farke came out and almost said afterwards that he was really happy with the performance and stuff. I wouldn't be happy with that. And I'm not happy with that as a Leeds fan. And that's not being Mr. Negative. It's not, you know, I think we had one more shot on target than they did. You know, you can have the ball, but you've got to do something with it. You know, and Leeds didn't even break 1 XG last night, which is very unusual for us. But away from home, I think there is a bit of a shift that needs to happen for the Whites. I think, you know, we need to be a little bit braver. I think so. I think we're a lot more braver at home. And I think with braveness will come reward. As I just mentioned, risk versus reward. They've got to start doing that. But guys, I'm really interested to hear what your 3 things are. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Fascinating to hear what you think. Make sure you check out all the stuff from last night as well. We'll see you in a bit. Cheers.